The beer you drink is awful, but it doesn't have to be. There are countless local breweries all over the country that make great beer. Amazing beer, also known as craft beer. Beer you can savor rather than chug. Each week, we'll take you to a brewery, brew pub, or beer festival, give you a tour, and then drink the beer. All of it, for the betterment of mankind. The beer you drink can be great. So put down that red party cup and start drinking beer like an adult. This is Crafty.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Crafty, the web series about great local beer. Today we're in Temecula, California at Ironfire Brewing Company. As you can see, they are not quite operational yet, but what we're going to do differently this episode is take you through how a brewery is actually made from start to finish. So with no further ado, here are the two founders and brewmasters, Greg Webb and John Mena.
Hey Greg, how's it going?
Good. One of you guys want to show me around, I guess?
Sure. All right, well, welcome to I know, dude, I'm doing so many tours from Ballast Point. It's funny. Hey, welcome to Ironfire Brewing Company. As you can see, we are very far from opening. We're standing in the future tasting room. Over by Greg is where the bar will be. Over on the other side of the rebar is actually where our barrel storage is going to be. Behind the barrels is where our fermenters are going to be. That gives us enough room to put storage stuff up into the mezzanine.
So you're going to start initially with 3 fermenters?
Yeah, we start with 3 fermenters and 1 bright beer tank. And then after that, we'll just keep on adding fermenters. So all the kegging, everything is going to be over here, away from the fermenters here, and the brew house, which is over there.
So I see that you already got some pint glasses made?
We do. We finally got our pint glasses in. Come over and check it out. It's kind of a gamble. You're doing all this stuff before you get a license to make and sell beer, and you never know if you're going to actually get one. But pint glasses, I mean, this is nothing. This was... I don't want to throw out numbers out there so people don't get pissed off when they buy them. The reason I like to get these things now is so I can have something tangible in my hands, you know? Like, doing all this paperwork and dealing with all the licensing and permitting stuff, it's all paper, out in the air, there's nothing real. So getting something tangible with your logo on it is pretty exciting. Here you go.
Sweet, man, thanks.
But we're gonna have 4 initial flagship beers: a golden ale, pale ale, an IPA, and a stout. And we want at least another 4 specialties, and those specialties will be constantly rotating.
Where'd you guys come up with the name, Ironfire?
Well, if you've ever tried to trademark anything, you'll find that pretty much everything is trademarked and you can't use anything. So we actually went through a few different names before we decided that we just got to make one up.
What drew you to Temecula?
Well, we come from San Diego. We were both brewers at Ballast Point. As we were there, we just started seeing brewery after brewery after brewery coming to San Diego, and it's just saturating the market so much that we rather come up north and be one of a smaller knit group like San Diego used to be, and make a little beer scene up here, because down there we could be one of 57, or we could be up here and be one of 3 or 4.
So I got this pint glass here. Can I try a beer?
Turn the camera off.
Whoa! That's a little bit of movie magic there. So we're about 5 months since we've been here last. What's basically happened?
I believe last time you were here, the only equipment we had in was the fermenters, and they were laying on their side. As you can see, they are now standing, and all 3 of them are currently filled with beer. If you look over here, you have our brew house. If we look over here, we got our Ironfire kegs. They're a little bit newer to the market, but for us, they were a little bit more cost effective. Kegs can cost you anywhere from $120 to $150, and I'm sure even more for stainless kegs. So we were able to get these for a much better price to kind of help us get off the ground and up and running. However, over time, in the next few years, we will be transitioning into stainless steel kegs. This is our bar. This is like our masterpiece. It's made from old used whiskey barrels, oak barrels we took apart, dried out. Had our buddies down the way who are custom cabinet makers basically frame it for us.
That's about the coolest bar I've ever seen.
That's pretty much it.
Sweet.
5 months of work.
What has been your biggest obstacles to getting the brewery actually open?
More than anything, being patient, learning how to wait on other people. A big part of this process involved getting permits as far as construction's concerned, getting permits for the fire department, permits from the state of California, the city of Temecula, federal government, so on and so forth. And then what really gets tricky is if you want to have a tasting room or not. As far as actually getting construction done, that all tends to go pretty quick. The hard part's getting the proper permitting.
Do you think that starting up a brewery is over-regulated?
I mean, what the federal government is asking of you and what the state is asking of you, I don't think it is beyond reasonable. But one of the things I don't like is that the ABC Type 23 license, which is a small beer manufacturer, actually allows you to have a tasting room, but you have to go through city by city to deal with whatever the city wants as far as having a tasting room is concerned. It's kind of a bummer when you got to go spend a whole lot more money and jump through a whole bunch of extra hoops and just deal with people who now have their hands in your business that wouldn't otherwise. Truthfully, if John and I didn't want to have a tasting room, we'd be in full production right now, kind of no questions asked. You know, I guess it depends on how you want to run your business. Like, is a tasting room an essential part of your business? And for us, it really is. You know, that's really where we're going to get the feedback to develop new recipes. So it's been frustrating, but it's been worth it.
Well, thanks a lot, Greg. It's hot as balls up here, so I think we're going to call it quits for now. But how about let's time travel in the future to when your tasting room's open, and we'll have your beers.
Sounds good. I'll see you in about a month.
Or 2 seconds.
Whoa, a beer and a beard. So it's been some time, Greg. Are we open now?
Yeah, we're about 5 months into production, and the tasting room's been open for about 2 months now. So let's go downstairs and taste a few beers.
All right. I love movie magic. So, who the hell are you?
I'm Greg. I'm one of the brewer's co-owners. How you
Grant,
doing?
dude.
Nice
Pleasure.
to meet you, Grant.
Greg, how does it feel to finally be up and running, to finally see the suds flowing?
I think the most exciting part is actually getting to go out to a bar, see your tap handle, and order your own beer. Everything was difficult, but at different times. So more than anything, it's just awesome to kind of not have to deal with that overwhelmingness anymore and actually get to enjoy the beer and enjoy people drinking our beer.
All right, Greg, what are we drinking here?
Well, this here is our Gunfighter Golden Ale. And what this is our lightest beer. We like to think of this as our introductory beer to people who aren't familiar with craft beer. And not to mention, we need something other than IPAs and big, heavy, dark beers when we're mowing the lawn. It's very light, crisp, refreshing. It's brewed in the style of a cream ale.
Yeah, it definitely is a beginner, but it still packs a little bit of a punch.
The hops are not overwhelming, very muted almost, and almost tart the way it balances with the malts. Very good.
So this here, what you guys are drinking, this is our Sinner Pale Ale. This is actually much hoppier than other pale ales. We focused on a lot of late edition hops, so you get a lot of flavor and aroma coming through. We wanted a beer that was hoppy but sessionable.
It's a very solid session-y pale ale. Yeah, and the sniffer on that one is truly a treat. It's gonna be the soundbite for this episode.
Yep.
So next is your IPA?
Yeah, so this one here is our 5150 IPA. 5150 is police code for a crazy person. So if you read our 22-ounce bombers, it says it takes the right amount of crazy and stupid to put this amount of hops in a beer. Heavy on hops in the beginning for the bitterness, heavy on the dry hop.
Is it triple digits?
It's just under, it's at 95 IBUs.
Yeah, the flavor on this is really, really interesting. It's very earthy, very almost leathery. You know, I'm into leather, so.
Interesting.
It's just bold without that like really harsh bite.
I guess we could say it's well balanced.
It's a well-balanced beer.
So this one is the,
This one here is the 6 Killer Stout. This is actually a hazelnut coffee stout.
I'm allergic to hazelnuts.
Be careful. So this is actually brewed with hazelnut coffee grounds that we get from a local coffee roaster over in Oceanside, California.
Is it fair trade coffee?
As far as I know.
The kids like it. I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Do you make the espresso first and then put it in?
What we actually do is we steep the coffee in it after the boil.
It's very nice, very pleasant. The hazelnut smooths out the bitterness of the coffee and makes it a very enjoyable thing. Greg, what can you tell me about the name behind this beer?
We came up with 6 Killer Stout because there's 6 types of malts, 6 types of hops, and it's 6% alcohol. So you get a nice 666 blend there for you.
It definitely has a hop profile, and that's rare in a stout.
Greg, is there any caffeine in this?
Yes, there is.
Now, as I recall, Big Daddy Government said that they wanted to control my bedroom and my brewery, and they want to make sure there's no caffeine in my alcohol.
In beer, if you're going to add that, you have to list it on your labels, and when you follow your recipes with the proper authorities, you just have to list it.
Sweet. All right, what's the next one here?
So this here is the Marshmallow Stout.
So there's actually marshmallow in
We
this.
actually use marshmallows to make that beer. Not during the boil, but in the secondary.
Holy sh**.
This is really good. It tastes like marshmallows.
That's really cool. Marshmallow beer. This is a first, I gotta say.
No, yeah, this is delicious.
Yeah, it almost tastes like there's some lactose in here, the way it becomes such a smooth, silky mouthfeel.
Since this marshmallow stout did so well, maybe you could do a Lucky Charms Pale Ale.
I don't know about a Lucky Charms Pale Ale, but maybe we could figure out something for them.
Maybe like a Count Chocula coffee stout. A frosted mini wheats amber ale.
That sounds terrible.
It's gonna be bad.
So do you bottle this one?
No, we don't. We just bottle our 4 flagships right now. We are going to begin bottling our Vicious Disposition Imperial Porter sometime after the new year also.
So what's next up?
So that's actually the next beer on the flight. This started out as a specialty beer, but right from the get-go it became so popular we decided to put it in full production. That's why it's obviously going to be our next bottle.
Well, it's definitely not a beer for beginners. It's got a very full body, very almost umami in its satisfaction of my taste buds.
And that's, interestingly enough, brewed with a local avocado honey that we get out here in Awanga.
So do you incorporate a lot of local ingredients into your beer?
I mean, we use them where we can. We use a spice shop down in Old Town for a few of our specialties. You know, we use coffee roasters from Oceanside. During harvest season for hops, we'll go down to Ramona to the Starby Hop Farm and Buffalo Ranch and actually pick our own fresh bines and do some fresh hop beers.
All right, Greg, what do we have for our last one?
Okay, so the last beer here, this is our Outcast Dead. This is an Imperial Red. Interestingly enough, the ones you're drinking right now were aged for 1 month in Jack Daniel's barrels.
There's nothing I love more than a red, and an Imperial Red, obviously twice as good, if not more. And when you barrel age anything, it makes it good.
You get still some of those real aggressive hop flavors from the red, but you also pick up a lot of flavors from the barrel, such as, you know, a little bit of the oak, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of the charcoal, and of course, a little bit of that Jack Daniel's.
Yeah, the IBU on this thing must be off the chain. Something like 120, 130?
I believe it's up in the 130s.
How different is the original?
The original, the hops are much more prevalent, and you know, the barrel just did smooth it out, gave it some extra flavors.
Yeah, this is dangerous.
That was our intentions with all of our Imperial beers. We wanted them to be 9%, but drink like they were 6%.
You just want to get people fucked up.
At the end of the day, don't we all just want to get fucked up? Hey guys, well I hope you enjoyed tasting a few of our beers here at Ironfire, but I'm gonna head back to the bar and take care of a few things.
Awesome, man. Thanks a lot.
Cool,
Appreciate it,
thanks.
Greg. No, I do a real handshake. All right, Grant, what's going to be your favorite?
This is a tough one. I know it's always tough, but this one is especially tough because in such a limited board, there is so much diversity. And to be honest, that's what's exciting about our job. I would have to say the pony who also ran is definitely the marshmallow. A lot
Okay.
of fun, very interesting, and I would have never thought to put marshmallow into a beer. Aaron, I gotta say, the one that puts the most grits in my hat, it's gotta be the Imperial Red aged on the whiskey barrels. It's got an off the Richter IBU and such a smooth finish.
It's
And
ridiculous.
It's exactly where I wanna be right now. Aaron, what about you?
I'm actually going to say the runner-up would be barrel-aged red. I couldn't believe you can smooth out something that's so hoppy. But, you know, the fattest pig at the fair, it's going to go to the marshmallow. I don't understand how this could
You
be
go
so...
down to the racetrack and you see ponies going neck and neck, neck and neck. That's natural ding dong, my friend.
What the was that?
It's a racing term.
Okay, cool. So what about you, TK?
Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, I think we've done God's work. Let's go call a cab. That's it for this episode of Crafty. For more information about Ironfire Brewing Company, please visit their website. And as always, remember, drink responsibly. And by that I mean, don't drink and drive. You guys are expensive.
2106.
Wait, wait.
Okay.
It's so unprofessional. It's not funny, it's so unprofessional.